Hey everyone, and welcome to my first official video with actual effort and planning behind it. Now, a few days ago, as of writing the script, I was bored, looking for something to watch, and remembered that Black Mirror was a show that I'd been told to view when I had the chance. So I hopped on Netflix and pulled it up. After a few episodes, I thought, I want to make a ranking video or tier list out of the episodes. I know, totally original idea that isn't out of date. However, here I am. For this video, I want to focus on the pre-Netflix seasons, or in other words, seasons 1 and 2, just so this video isn't a million years long and I don't spend forever working on making it. Trust me, it's already been like 2 days. If this does well, then I'll make part 2 and 3 and, well, however many I need. Now, before I begin, I'd just like to say that the way Netflix organizes this show and some of its other shows just really bugs me. They order it by recent seasons, so I can't start at season 1 and watch. Nope, I need to go down, find season 1, watch those, then go back to season 2, and so on. But anyway, enough of that. This video is going to be long as it is, so let's just jump into it. Now, I should probably explain what Black Mirror is before I get into a whole video talking about it. Basically, the concept is that it is an anthology series. None of the episodes really connect, but you can find things that are relating to each other throughout them. But most importantly, they're all focused around modern technology and all the consequences that can arise from them. Also, it's very, very British, especially these first 2 seasons. But I would liken it to the likes of Twilight Zone, for those who've never seen it. A disclaimer for this video is that these are my personal opinions, and while you don't have to agree, please try to have friendly discussion in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Also, I will be spoiling the episode twists and events and talking about some themes that can be disturbing, but I'll try to explain and skirt around them in a respectful manner. With that being said, let's get into it.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Alright, I promise last interruption, but this is the review room. Yeah, I guess it does look pretty empty. Let's just add a few things. Alright, I think that looks good if you don't mind. So, episode 1, the national anthem. Wow, I mean, like, this is not what I was expecting when I wanted to watch this show. Now, I don't plan on going too in detail and doing a play-by-play of the episodes, so here's what I'll say for this one. The Prime Minister, Michael Callow, is awoken by the shocking news that Princess Susanna has been kidnapped and the Caper, oh god, what am I, from the 50s? Has an ultimatum. The princess will be executed unless, the Prime Minister has a worldwide public broadcast of him, fornicating with a pig. Obviously, with a premise like that, you probably have the same reaction I do.
What the fuck?
Well, ultimately, the episode ends with every single countermeasure the Prime Minister and all the government agents come up with going south, and the Prime Minister does the deed, creating a massive rift between him and his wife, and the princess is released unharmed. Now, the twist is that this was all a statement from an artist. The princess was never in danger and was released like 30 minutes before the horrible event happened, knowing that, everyone would be tuned into the broadcast and they wouldn't notice that she's out in the street being released. Wow, I mean, way to start off with a bang. This episode is very tense, and the whole time you're just hoping that it won't happen and they find a way to save her, but, well, let's just say happy endings are rare in this series. Now, this episode is a good watch, but I really don't think it's a top tier episode. I mean, it has solid storytelling and the ending is shocking, but it also really bothers me. I watched this episode with my girlfriend and we both had the same thoughts at the end. Like, why does his wife hate him so much? I mean, he did what he thought he was doing to, save the princess. And yet, she really hates his guts. I mean, I'm sure that there's more that I'm not looking into, but it just kind of bothers me. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe that any of the info that, he basically did it for no reason comes out. I know that it comes out that the thing was all art, but I don't think that it came out that she was released unharmed. I don't know. Maybe people pieced two and two together when she wasn't actually missing a finger. Anyway, between that and, well, it just being a really, really gross premise and you feel super dirty by the end, it's honestly gonna be a C tier episode for me.
Whenever I do it, watch your calories.
Don't you tell me how many calories I need, bitch!
Alright, episode 2 15 million merits. My first thought for this episode was, hey, that's a familiar face, as Daniel Kaluuya plays the main character Bing, and this is about 6 years before his breakout role in Jordan Peele's Get Out. This episode is focused around a very futuristic world that is set in an enclosed society, where you wake up and go to work riding a bicycle that generates electricity for the whole system, and, depending on how hard you're working, you earn merits. At least, that's what I get from it. Now, we see that Bing lives a pretty boring life with a monotonous routine until he meets Abby, whose singing awakens a feeling he's never had before. Love. Aww. Anyway, in this world, there's this shitty rip-off Britain's Got Talent, which the three elites of this society are judges, and they make offers for the very best contestants to become stars on one of the unique channels. Since another nobody got a huge opportunity because of her singing, Bing spends 15 million merits to gift Abby a ticket, and when she performs a twist that they don't want her voice, they are instead focused on her looks, and she's given an offer to join the, less than family-friendly channel. And with the peer pressure slash guilt slash shame if she turned it down, she takes it. After being forced to watch through a preview of the newest clip for that channel, due to a lack of merits to skip it, Bing, understandably so, smashes his screens in his room, finding a shard of glass and getting an idea. He works hard and long for months, taking scraps and barely spending merits to build back up to 15 million. He buys a ticket, and once on stage, he does the sickest dance I've ever seen, and then ends it by holding himself at glass point and just speaks his mind, letting out the anger and calling out the monsters for who they are. Here, I'm gonna let it play for a bit here because this is one of the best things, and I totally understand if this is what got him the role in Get Out.
I haven't got a speech, I didn't plan words, I didn't even try to. I just knew I had to get here, to stand here, and I knew I wanted you to listen. To really listen, not just pull a face like you're listening, like you do the rest of the time. A face like you're feeling instead of processing. You pull a face and poke it towards this stage, and we la-dee-da, we sing and dance and tumble around, and all you see up here, it's not people. You don't see people up here, it's all fodder. And the faker the fodder is, the more you love it, because fake fodder is the only thing that works anymore. Fake fodder is all that we can stomach. Actually, not quite all. Real pain, real viciousness, that we can take. Yeah, stick a fat man up a pole and we'll laugh ourselves feral, because we've earned the right. We've done solo time, and he's slacking the scum, so ha 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 at him. Because we're so out of our minds with desperation, we don't know any better. All we know is fake fodder and buying shit. That's how we speak to each other, how we express ourselves, is buying shit. Well, I have a dream. The peak of our dreams is a new hat for our doppel. A hat that doesn't exist. That's not even there. We buy shit. That's not even there. Show us something real and free and beautiful. You couldn't. Yeah? It'd break us. We're too numb for it. Our minds would choke. There's only so much wonder we can bear. That's why when you find any wonder whatsoever, you dole it out in meager portions. And only then till it's augmented and packaged and pumped through 10,000 pre-assigned filters, till it's nothing more than a meaningless series of lights while we ride day in, day out. Going where? Powering what? All tiny cells and tiny screens, and bigger cells and bigger screens, and fuck you! Fuck you! That's what it boils down to, is fuck you! Fuck you for sitting there and slowly knitting things worse! Fuck you and your spotlight and your sanctimonious faces, and fuck you all for taking the one thing I ever came close to anything real about anything! But oozing around it and crushing it into a bone, into a joke, one more ugly joke in the kingdom of millions, and then fuck you! Fuck you for happening! Fuck you for me! For us! For everyone! Fuck you!
After giving this incredible speech, pouring out all of his anger and his heart and everything, these shitheads just congratulate him, and the main dude offers him a spot on his own channel to give speeches like this. Oh my goodness. And for a moment, you think that Bing isn't going to take it, because he's better than that. But then it cuts to the next scene with one of the cyclists that we've seen before happily and ignorantly enjoying Bing's channel segment, showing that really nothing has changed, but at least Bing is living in a better spot than before. And at least as a viewer, I was content that he had a better life. However, the Abby part was very shocking and saddening for me. Well, if you couldn't tell, I really, really enjoyed this episode. I completely disregarded that I wasn't going to go into detail, but this episode is so rich that I needed to. I love this episode, and while not my absolute favorite, it stuck with me for quite a while afterwards. This is an absolute A tier.
But Brian, isn't that the whole point of wearing a condom? To not impregnate the woman?
Well, you know the old expression. Nope.
Episode 3, The Entire History of You. Now, this was technically the second episode I watched, right after the national anthem, and my girlfriend viewed this one with me as well. And honestly, I'm glad we watched it together, because otherwise, I don't think I would have enjoyed this episode as much. We follow Liam, who lives in a world that has these devices called a grain that are like little beads implanted in your head that work as a memory storage that can make all your moments be replayed, stored, and analyzed whenever you want, with the push of a button. After a sucky interview and a return home to a dinner party with his wife and her old friend group, he gets a hunch that one friend is a little too close with his wife. Oh, her name is Fee, by the way. Anywho, Liam obsesses over this, getting to a point where he learns that Fee and Jonas have slept together in the past, and one day in a drunken rage, he goes to Jonas's house and threatens to gouge out his grain unless he deletes the sexual memories he has with Fee. Finding out in the process that Fee had an affair with Jonas, suspiciously back around the time that she got pregnant. Long story short, he confronts her and finds out he's not the father. And at the end, he decides to pull out his grain, ending the episode. Now, like I said, this episode is baffling and is a way better watch with a partner, or honestly just a friend, as the whole time my girlfriend and I were just saying how Fee obviously liked Jonas still, and how Liam was being overly obsessive and, like, batshit insane, as well as, well, Jonas is a huge douche, and we hate him. Anyway, there's a later episode with a similar idea that I love a lot more. Now, I like this episode, but overall, it's pretty forgetful. I mean, the technology featured in the episode isn't something that fascinates me too much, and I feel that the episode drags a little. Also, like, they implanted the baby with one of these devices. Like, what? Anyway, just not overall an episode for me, so this one gets a D, maybe a low C tier. And hey, would you look at that? That's all of Season 1 done. Now we can move on to Season 2, which has 4 episodes. I mean, technically 3, but the last one was a holiday special that normally gets included into the season.
I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. I'll be back.
Season 2, Episode 1, Be Right Back. Oh hey look, another familiar face. Domhnall Gleeson, probably best known as General Hux in the Star Wars sequels, is one of the main characters named Ash. Ash and Martha are moving into their new home, and after their first night there, the next morning Ash has to take the rental car back to the rental place. And, well, he never returns, as he presumably got into a car accident. This leads to Martha trying to cope with the loss of her love. After discovering that she's pregnant, she decides to talk to this new AI version of Ash that a friend who also lost a loved one set up for her. This AI uses all the posts he made as a basis for how he spoke. And after a while of chatting, the AI tells her that he can have a body too. But Martha slowly starts to grow detached from this new clone as it isn't truly alive and doesn't fully know how Ash acted. Or how any human acts, really.
So please.
Aim to jump, just do it.
Okay. If you're absolutely sure.
See, Ash would have been scared. He wouldn't have just leapt off. He would have been crying. He would have been...
Oh. Oh. Oh, God, no. Please, I don't want to do it. Please don't make me do it.
No, that's not fair.
She tries and fails to bring herself to kill it, so instead she keeps it in the attic and raises her daughter on her own. Now, this episode isn't bad, and seeing how with our AI nowadays, this could be a possibility, it's just not as overly unique as it probably once was. I mean, it was a good watch, but it was just another one that doesn't really resonate with me because personally I just didn't feel very satisfied at the end. It just felt unfinished, which may have been the intention, but I think this will be a D tier, as I feel it's about the same in my head as the last episode.
Shame, shame, shame! Shame on you!
Well, now we're on episode 2, White Bear. Oof, this one is a doozy. I do enjoy this one. Well, at first I thought it was dumb, and I don't like this, but after the twist, this one is a solid recommendation. We follow Victoria as she wakes up with no knowledge of who she is, where she is, and why she is.
You feel silly? Don't you feel stupid?
After turning off some TVs with a mysterious logo and finding a picture of a little girl on a picture of Victoria with a man, she gets a memory and concludes that this girl is her daughter. After leaving the house and noticing everyone around her is watching her with their cameras out, she pleads for answers and help but goes unheard. Then she's hunted and chased, finding a couple who seem different and are willing to help. Only one of the pair manages to survive the encounter and takes Victoria with her and to escape. She then lore dumps that a broadcast took over everyone's mind and only a few weren't susceptible, so they basically went purge mode and they do whatever they want. After being found, they're helped out by a man in a van, which should be an enormous red flag, by the way. He takes them to the woods and tries to kill them, but he's tricked and killed, and the pair escape again. Now they're finally headed to White Bear, where the stranger wants Victoria to help her knock out a signal tower to ensure a safe spot. Well, they're found again, and the girl is taken out, so Victoria finally fights back and... Oh, hey look, it's confetti. Wow. Oh yeah, we find out she's a horrible criminal who, with the help of her boyfriend, kidnapped a little girl, and as the boyfriend, well, killed her, Victoria filmed the murder, and the girl just cried and begged for help the whole time. Victoria's boyfriend took a ceiling nap in his cell to avoid punishment, so as a radical form of getting a taste of her own medicine, Victoria has her memories wiped and is forced to play through the events of the episode day after day. Like I said, I thought this was stupid before the twist, but afterwards I was like, holy shit, she's a bad person, but that's kind of messed up, but also I shouldn't feel that way because she's a bad person. It's a real mind bender. I really enjoyed this episode, and because it managed to trick me into loving it, it's definitely up there as one of my favorites, along with the fact that it makes me just feel so conflicted. This one is a solid A tier.
Sorry, okay? What is wrong with you? Why are you blue?
Alright, episode 3, the Waldo moment. This episode is, well, to put it bluntly, ridiculous. Its focus is about a failed comedian, Jamie Salter, who is the actor for a crude, talking, animated blue bear named Waldo, who starts as a stupid talk show bit.
Hello, Mr. Monroe.
Hello, Waldo.
But becomes strongly pressured by the company and his team to turn Waldo into a political figure and slander one of the candidates, Liam Monroe, in the upcoming election. The subplot focuses on Gwendolyn Harris, who is one of the candidates, and she gets close with Jamie, only for an outburst as Waldo, caused by Liam, during a candidate press gathering to expose that she's only running to get good press and have a video reel, and that ends up ruining their relationship.
Something's got to change. No one trusts you lot, because they know you don't give a shit about anything outside your bubble. What about your mate Gladwell, the kiddie flasher? You knew him for 20 years. Did you not know what he was like?
No, of course not.
Yeah, because you're all just front like him, sly and pretending, and in that way you're all the same.
Of course, I think no.
Oh, shut up, you're worse. Seriously, she's faker than him.
For once,
After trying to make amends and disgrace the increasingly popular Waldo, who now stands for anarchy and exposure of the fake politicians, he's kicked out of the team and is replaced. The ending of the episode shows that the Waldo movement has gone international, and the Waldo Party has a tyrannical rule over everything. At least I think.
500 quid to anyone who can lob a shoe.
Well, I kept that one short because, honestly, it's a short episode, and it's just really, really goofy. Now, I personally am not very into politics, like, in the slightest, so that aspect was not super entertaining, but I like this episode purely because of how wild it is. I should have said this sooner, but I'm also basing my ranking taking into account the rewatchability, and this is one I wouldn't mind rewatching, as it has really nice moments between Jamie and Gwendolyn that made me feel really good inside, but also the Waldo moments are by far the peaks of this episode. Anyways, with that ending being so ridiculous, it just ruins it a little bit for me, but overall, this will be a B tier.
Cheers north through
No way. Are we actually at the last episode? Wow. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Anyways, Season 2, Episode 4, White Christmas. Oh my goodness. I love this episode, and it's mostly for one reason. I absolutely love Jon Hamm's performance in this episode. I mean, it's phenomenal. Also, this episode is 3 stories wrapped into one big lovely Christmas present. And though I watched this episode in June, it wasn't too bad because it didn't really slap Christmas in your face the whole time. It was more of a backdrop. 2 men, Matt and Potter, are workers who are living in an isolated cabin in the middle of nowhere. Matt has prepared a lovely Christmas meal for them as a means of trying to get to know each other, as he says they've worked together for 5 years and barely talked. So, to break the ice, Matt asks him,
"Why are you here? No one ends up here without things going to total shit for them back out there.
It's a job, not a jail.
Often one and the same thing. So, what went wrong for you out there?"
I mean, see what I mean? This man is just so gosh darn charming. But Potter refuses to share anything, so Matt tells him why he's there. We go into the first story as we see that Matt is a part of a group of guys who help each other pick up women. The first main technology of the world is introduced here, Z-Eyes, which are implants that come with a control option like taking pictures, streaming what you see to others, zooming, and the blockout feature. Anyway, Matt has Harry here crash a holiday office party as that will have the best chances of getting a girl. After he picks one up, they privately talk, and Harry, taking Matt's advice, swoons over the girl and helps her decide that she should quit her job and that the voices in his head battle, and though it's scary, it's just a transition state. After excusing herself and coming back to overhear Harry talking to Matt, she invites him over and, once there, shares that she's happy he told her to just go for it, and she gives him a drink. Harry quickly starts realizing something is up with the cocktail, and as he chokes and coughs, he listens to her monologue that she stopped taking her medication and was going to end it to silence the voices, and that she knew he should go with her since he saw her talking to them too. Yikes. Harry promptly dies, and while Matt is doing damage control trying to get rid of the evidence, he's caught by his wife and blocked out and turned into the police, keeping him from seeing, talking to, or hearing his wife, and children too. After Matt and Potter have a few words, Matt explains how that wasn't his job, just a hobby, and tells the next story, which sets up our second important tech in this episode, cookies. Or, well, what is basically a copy of a person placed into a quote-unquote cookie, which is put into an Alexa-type device. We learn that he is a sort of introducer of purpose to these cookie clones, as they believe they are the real person and are trapped inside a device, though they are nothing more than a code. We see Matt training one of these new copies named Greta, and showing her that her new purpose is to control the house and be a little helper for the real Greta. However, this takes a bit of work since the copy believes she is real.
Okay. Please stop screaming. Are you going to stop screaming? Are you going to stop screaming? No? Okay. I'm sorry, I had to mute you.
After some debatable torture by Matt, being forced to sit in a blank room with nothing to do for quote-unquote days.
I'm definitely not doing that.
Okay, well, have 6 months.
No, wait!
How are we feeling now?
Gets her to break and want to do the work that she was created for. We go back to the cabin where Potter finally decides to share. He tells the story of his girlfriend and how they were happy. Then it cuts to a nice friend dinner where the two and Tim and Gita are enjoying a meal. However, after the friends leave, Potter notices that Beth is acting off and she goes to bed while he cleans up. As he takes out the trash, the bag rips and he finds a pregnancy test. Delighted to see that she's pregnant, he talks to Beth to find she's not happy about the pregnancy and doesn't want to keep it. This results in a fight, and Beth says she needs to block out Potter for a few hours. Wanting to talk and being enraged by being blocked out, Potter screams and begs and in anger smashes a vase. The next morning he wakes up to Beth leaving and he sees she still hasn't blocked, and she doesn't return home. He recounts how he became a stalker and met Tim and Gita outside Beth's work and learns that she skipped town. After finding her and pleading to be unblocked, he is arrested and the block becomes legal and he can't be around her. He gets the idea that Beth always goes to her dad's house on Christmas, so he goes there and from a distance tries to see her and the baby, but legal blocks also go to offspring, so he can't see his child. This tradition continues for a few years until one year he learns that Beth dies in a recent train accident, and since the block was removed, he can see her for the first time in a long time, but then realize that it means he can finally see his daughter. So he gets her a gift and goes up to the house. He sees her playing outside and goes up to her, but when she turns around, as some of you may have guessed, she's not his. No, she in fact is a child of Beth and Tim. This breaks Potter, who saunters into the house, and as Beth's dad tries to get him to leave, he snaps and takes a snow globe for his quote-unquote daughter and bashes Beth's father in the head, killing him, before running away. Finally, he says how he learned the girl, after a few days, tried to leave and get help, but died in the cold winter on her way. We then learn that in the last big twist, this wasn't actually Potter, but a cookie copy, influenced by Matt to get a confession for the police. We then learn that Matt's stories weren't made up, and he asks if the police will honor their deal of no jail time since he helped them. They honor it, but he's put on a registry which blocks him to everyone, and the cookie copy of Potter is sentenced to thousands of years in the cabin listening to an awful Christmas song, and, well, the real Potter being convicted and jailed, presumably. Wow, I wrote a lot, but I had to. This episode is just fantastic, and it's by far my favorite of the series. The ending leaves you thinking, is it really fair to treat the copy who thinks it's real to such a cruel punishment? Matt being blocked by everyone is really a horrible sentence on its own, and wow, Jon Hamm is a really handsome guy. Okay, maybe that last bit is just me, but you get it. I would say without a doubt, at least for me, this is an S-tier episode. Well, there you have it. I mean, seasons 3 and onward were made by Netflix and start to become more plentiful and different, and might I add, not as bleak. Once again, I recommend watching this show if you can, as my summary is nowhere near as good a substitute for the experience of watching these episodes. I hope you really enjoyed this, as I put a lot of time into this, and I mean, the script is 6 pages, and if I continue this, I can only imagine how many future videos will be. If you want me to make more of these and finish this out, leave a like, and if you feel so inclined, subscribe to keep updated and see when the next video comes out. I'm hoping to start working on my next one fairly soon. Well, anyways, see ya!